A friend of the channel pointed me to an article in Politico magazine entitled, "Does Trump Actually Think He's God?" And as a Christian, I certainly found it worthy of discussion for reasons you're about to see. First, the image at the top of the article shows Trump looking into the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, and the image he sees is of himself with long hair and a beard and a halo around his head. Interestingly, the image in the reflecting pool does not actually reflect the White House or the Washington Monument, instead replacing them with a couple of trees. Perhaps this suggests that Trump sees those things as simply irrelevant. But here are a few quotes from the article, and I'll also put a link down below so you can read it for yourself if you're so inclined. For a while now, a roster of religious believers and leaders, grateful for the political victories Trump has bestowed in exchange for their votes, have suggested and sometimes outright said that Trump is chosen or anointed or a savior or the second coming or the Christ for this age. Now, though, Trump does it too. And that matters. It matters, some say, because it highlights how his well-documented narcissism and grandiosity has metastasized into notions of omnipotence, invincibility, and infallibility. It's worth asking, does Trump think he's God? Okay, he almost certainly doesn't think he's God, but does he think he's godlike, divinely sanctioned or inspired or empowered? Does he think he's somehow imbued with some special sacred purpose for some special sacred reason? Or did he just see and seize an opportunity to stamp his world-upending agenda with the ultimate justification, a mandate from God? Perhaps opportunism and genuine belief in his own chosenness aren't mutually exclusive. Marie Griffith, the director of the John C. Dentworth Center on Religion and Politics at Washington University in St. Louis, told me. But whether he truly believes it or not, it is plainly in his interest to keep talking as if everything he does is sanctioned by God. So now, 4 months into his term, Trump is on a spree of a show of supremacy. He pledged a golden age. He's punished Trump and MAGA unbelievers. Christian believers believe, of course, that God has a purpose for them, and for all of them, that they're all potential tools of His will and beneficiaries of His grace. Most of them don't, though, think of themselves as the literal second coming of Christ. And the extent to which Trump might think that of himself, and that his supporters might agree, speaks to the unprecedented expansion of power he has asserted and that many in the country seem content to grant. One of the images in the article is from the National Day of Prayer event at the White House on May 1st. I've spoken about the stunning symbolism in this picture before, as one of the preachers is praying to God, but kneeling before Donald J. Trump. But also look at Trump in this picture. All around him people are praying to God, and yet he sits there stone-faced just absorbing it all in, as if it is all meant for him. We are clearly headed toward a time in the not-too-distant future where Donald Trump will proclaim himself to be God, or Savior of the world, just as the Bible states that the Antichrist is to do. But while Trump's own insatiable ego is the main reason we are headed down this path, it's impossible to overlook the abject hypocrisy of his evangelical supporters. They are the ones feeding his outsized ego. They tell him how he is chosen by God for these end times, all because they love his policies, and yet simultaneously they excuse the vileness that he spews on a daily basis. Those things are to be ignored or dismissed as unimportant. What this means is that the responsibility for the rise of the final Antichrist in these last days falls squarely on the laps of evangelical Christians. They are culpable.